All right, hello, and welcome back to the Bull SPEC Interviews video podcast. I'm Sam Montgomery Blinn of Bull SPEC, and today I'm delighted to be talking with Jennifer Bedell and Zachary Boyd of Durham's own Sci-Fi Genre comics and games, here at their store at 3215 Old Chapel Hill Road. Jennifer and Zachary, thanks very much for sitting down to talk with me and letting me poke around a little behind the scenes here at Sci-Fi Genre.
Wow, he's got this whole rehearsed thing, and we don't have anything written down. Man. This is a response.
Thanks for having us, Sam.
All right, awesome. So Jennifer, this store has become kind of a Durham epicenter for spec fiction, especially for comics and games, and especially as that get-together place for the gaming here in the back room where I've kind of co-opted and taken over. Tell me, let's go step back, and what made you think that Durham was the place for a sci-fi genre comics and games store?
Well, when we opened the website, it was always from the beginning my husband Mark's dream to have a brick and mortar store, and it was impractical for a long time. We thought, oh, that's crazy, those things fail all the time. And eventually, he was always in the habit of poking around at real estate ads online, just in case. And when we found this place, he came to me and he said, oh my God, this is perfect. And I said, look, for that price, there's gonna be 1,000 things wrong with it. We'll go look, but there's gonna be 1,000 things wrong with it. And there were, but here we are. So they weren't things that we hadn't dealt with in a warehouse in the middle of Durham. Durham's been great because we're at the center of a bunch of universities. And at the time that we decided to open a store, there was already a store in Chapel Hill and Raleigh, but there was nothing in Durham. And we had a really active gaming group, and we knew that there were gamers in Durham. So this just ended up being an ideal location for us.
Awesome. You mentioned the website. The website started in 2003, and it's an amazing online comic book and sci-fi genre just resource. Not only just like a catalog. I use it to browse to see what's coming, but also it's got this subscription management and all these features that added, and you can just come pick up your orders or ship them, and we'll get a chance to maybe sneak in the back and take a look at how that happens later. But you talked a bit about the transition from the online to the brick and mortar here, and some of the maybe the mysterious things. Any kind of funny stories about finding rats in the belfry or anything like that?
Well, the people who were here previous to us was a furniture store, and they left the place in kind of, wow. We found water stains everywhere where they had a fountain that had overflowed. The carpet was taped with duct tape down the middle, so the first thing we had to do was just come in here and completely redo everything. And it was a nightmare getting opened because we set a really aggressive schedule. We got the place at the end of May and we opened at the end of July. And we didn't have a lot of free time to spend because we had to get the revenue stream going. So trying to get carpet, paint, fixtures, everything, like when you're running a warehouse, all you really need is racks. But the idea that we'd never, either one of us ever been in retail, and we were just gonna move in here and figure it out. Like at the time, we were young and crazy, and really crazy. Now, I think looking back, we would have made a lot of different decisions. But as it happens, sometimes you just gotta take that leap, and go with it and figure it out as you go.
I remember pre-employment, I stopped in because I was organizer for a card game that has long since died. But I remember the manager at the time had me stop in and meet some different people and meet Jennifer and, see the location. And there was just boxes of product everywhere. I mean, where the register...
Floor to ceiling in here.
Yeah, where the register is now, it was just a bunch of stuff laying on the ground. And Jennifer, the first memory that I have of her is her sitting in a chair, plinking away at her laptop, trying to figure, with a really haggard and worried look on her face, trying to figure things out and trying to direct people. No, take that over there. Build that. Because they were putting together the HRECs over there the day that I stopped by, and I don't think they even loaded any product on it. They were just trying to put them together.
It was the weekend we opened, all the product went up. And in the meantime, while everybody else was hanging fixtures and building things, we were trying to hire staff, I was writing the back-end software to run the register and to deal with inventory in the store and stuff like that. So, we've written all of our own custom software. And so the idea of also producing that on a limited 3-month schedule while also doing everything else was, I told Mark over and over, we're not going to have it done. There's no way we're going to have it done. Returns won't work. All these things are not going to work. And he said, that's okay. We can do those later. And I said, we're not going to have time later. And he said, it doesn't matter. So
that sounds familiar, actually. It's kind of what's going on with me. So it's I'm looking forward to the craziness. And from what I've seen, I managed to make it in the store here and there, but I know it's not as often as either of us would probably like. But it's especially I got to come to the 3-year anniversary just a couple months ago now. Brought my kids out, and we had a great time with the cake, and there's like an miniatures assembly pipeline in the background of everything, and it was a festival of fun back here, and it's obviously been a great decision. I'm glad you guys opened this place.
So are we. It's been an incredible experience because it's different from running a store. Really, it doesn't feel like a store because people come in and they want to talk to you, and it's not like going to Walmart. It's not like, hey, do you have a box of cereal at the right price? It's, what's new and what are you guys doing? And hey, what do you like? And people get attached to it in a way that they don't get attached to a big box store. So, when we did the expansion, I thought, hey, that's great. We're going to have so much more gaming space, and that's really exciting. But I didn't expect how excited the customers were going to be about it. And people literally came up to me and said, hey, we really appreciate you, and we're really glad you did this, and tell us what we can do to help out. And to me, that was just the neatest experience ever, to realize that the customers really had grown to have a stake in the store, to where they felt like they had some ownership and some responsibility for it.
Yeah, and lots of people have commented on just the general reorganization of everything, and they love the wall of board games because everything's just kind of you can see everything. You don't have to go looking around, and it's pretty awesome.
Well, you mentioned that they come in to find out what's new, and Zachary, as the manager of the store, for the local sci-fi fans who haven't made it into the store yet, what are they missing? And for the folks who have come often, what's kind of new? What is going on?
In general, for products or just whatever?
Store events, products,
Well, we're pretty excited about 2010 for multiple reasons. I mean, we've got Magic right out of the gate here at the end of the month. Magic's always a interesting topic. It's a CCG. It's been around for years and years and years. It's probably the longest running one, I think. And it's by Wizards of the Coast. And every few months they'll have 2 events back to back, a pre-release and a launch party for their new product. In this case, it's going to be World Wake. And what we do is on Friday nights, I'm crazy enough that we have a midnight tournament for it. And that lasts until about 7 the next morning.
Which means he's just leaving as the warehouse staff comes in.
Actually, I'm usually taking a nap and then waking up, and people are here, and they're like, hey, have you been here all night? Yes. So then we get the Saturday tournament rolling, and it's a cascade of there's another tournament today, and then the next week doesn't really exist because I never went home, really. But I mean, that's coming up.
It's fantastic though, because for that we get players from a little bit farther out. It's a pre-release, so people are excited about the new set. So we get to sort of hobnob with a lot of players we don't see very often. And I can't tell you how many times we'll be in here for a pre-release, and Zach says, "Grab the truck and run and buy some more chairs." We're not going to be able to seat everybody, and people are such good sports. They're sitting in office chairs and they're hovering on stools, and it's a great time because we get so many people in for that.
That reminds me, we should probably buy some more chairs.
Make a note.
I'll make a note for you.
But I mean, that's coming up in the spring, and Sci-Fi Genre actually goes to different conventions. Like we're going to attempt, fingers crossed, to be at the Cardboard Collectors Fair this year, assuming I can figure out how to register for that. There's a anime convention that happens. It was in Durham, but last year was their first year at the Raleigh Convention Center, which is really awesome.
Yeah.
If you like anime or just seeing lots of crazy people,
A lot of cosplay.
yeah, definitely check it out. That's in late May, and we'll be there for that. We're looking forward to a couple of new comic book conventions we're going to this year. I mean, it's just really exciting, and we've got the space, and this will be a full year with the space, which is cool.
We are really hoping by the end of this year to open a manga section for the first time.
Wow.
which, we have people come in every now and then and ask for it, and they say, I hate getting this stuff at Barnes & Noble because they don't really know what they're talking about, and, why don't you guys get some manga in here? So that's really one of our big goals.
I mean, as far as products go, D&D has been releasing a new setting every year, so that's been pretty exciting.
What's the 2010 setting? It's Dark Sun, right?
I think so.
Which is a throwback to a second edition setting that was really, really popular.
Yeah, and people clamored for it a lot in third edition, but they did Forgotten Realms was the big thing for third edition and 3.5. And with fourth edition, and they also did Eberron, which is a cool little steampunk almost type setting. But I mean, with fourth edition, they've been trying to take us back to settings that, they haven't done or supported for years and years that they have fans for. And it's really exciting to see them, kind of reach back and pull some more stuff out.
Cool.
I mean, there's all sorts of things I could talk about.
There's a couple of things that came to mind to me when I was kind of getting ready to talk to you guys. I know the membership cards were new. They made it for the anniversary party.
They just barely, by the skin of our teeth.
And one of the things that I knew I wanted to ask you, because I saw it on the calendar and I thought, what in the world could this possibly be? A miniatures painting contest. Tell me about what that is.
Well, basically the idea is that you come in and, people are always coming in with their unpainted armies and saying, oh, but I just don't have time to paint. And so one of the reasons we do the painting contests and speed painting contests is that you can literally get through a miniature in an hour if you're really, really motivated. So people come in, they'll buy a miniature for their role-playing game, or they'll bring something that they're playing for a war game, and you just sit down and paint. And it's great because there's a socialization element of other people being there doing the same thing you are. And so it's like exercising with other people. It's motivating and it's fun. And generally, we just give out a gift certificate at the end. There's some voting, and people agree on, what the best job was. And it's really actually fantastic how good of a job you can do on a miniature in an hour if you really want. So if you're interested in getting started on painting or seeing some painting or whatever, those are great events to attend.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I always see the unpainted ones. I've never painted one myself. It probably would be one solid color with one brush stroke. Done.
We run the whole gamut. We have people who show up and they paint what they call 3-color minimum, which is tabletop ready, which you slap 3 colors on there. Then we have people we have a customer named Mateo who's just an incredible painter, and everything he brings in, I say, oh my gosh, that's a work of art. How did you do that? Cool.
Well, that's miniatures are cool too, but we are comics and games, so let's talk about the comics real quick, and especially about the comic selection. Where your customers can order and subscribe, wherever they are, but even in Durham, they can order whatever they find online. How many issues are on the racks here?
We have actually about.
Poor Zach.
That's a tough question.
It's not actually.
Well, maybe not for you.
On the wall, we have about 300 books.
Okay.
And what we do is every time those books come out, we refresh with the newest issue and stack it on top. So when a title goes out of production, we take it down and replace it with a new one. But we recently in the store expansion,
you hear the dumpster outside.
Cardboard recycling, right? Recently in the store expansion, we expanded that space a lot so we could get more, especially of the independent publishers and stuff like that up there.
Cool. What about the back room, which I got a quick preview of? So. Any idea what the ballpark number of them?
There are about 100,000 books back there.
And a quick note on comic books, since I talked so much about games and very limited things as far as what we're looking forward to in 2010. DC and Marvel have some cool stuff that's going on. DC's got The Blackest Night, which is going to be wrapping up in a few months. And that's been a really cool series so far. Marvel has had the continuing storyline of blanking on the name of it.
Siege?
No, that's the new thing that's coming. Dark Reign, there we go. With Norman Osborn, who's the Green Goblin, head of a government-sponsored organization that polices the world. So basically the bad guys are in control, and that's been really cool to read about. They're doing Siege starting this spring, which is leading into him and Loki teaming up and trying to get Thor and the Asgardians out of our realm. And
the Marvel universe will never be the same. That's
that's
what I'm told.
We've always.
That's what I'm told.
We hear that every year, though.
Every year it's not the same.
Well, that's true. Image is also doing something cool called Image United, where they're having their big comic book title characters. They're all coming together in a big crossover event. And perhaps the coolest thing about it is that every page that has a particular artist's character on it is actually drawn by that creator.